Week two. How is everyone doing? I hope you guys are enjoying the class. There's a lot of material to get through, but I hope everyone is enjoying it. I've been getting really good feedback on your discussion questions, on the vocabulary, on other things, so good work so far. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about reading, and that's why this video is going to be in the reading page. I haven't finished it yet, so I'll upload it later, but one of the things we're going to do for week two is reading, and we're going to do a reading assignment each and every week. Reading is something that people often skip over when they study in a second language. They like focusing on things like grammar and vocabulary and speaking and listening skills, but they don't do reading as a regular part of their study in a language. And reading is really, really important. It's something that can help in almost all of your skills, and it's a really excellent way of boosting your vocabulary. Students tell me all the time they want to improve their vocabulary, and if they don't tell me they want to improve it, they should. Everybody should want to improve their vocabulary. So the reading assignment for this week is called Conserving the Oceans. You'll find the link in Canvas under the reading page, and it's right here. It's an article from the BBC News. The title of the article is Oceans Can Be Successfully Restored by 2050, Say Scientists. So the assignment for the reading is to read the article and then answer a few discussion questions, which are going to be on a discussion page after this. But I wanted to talk a little bit about reading strategies, because a lot of people start reading in a second language and they usually have their dictionary right to the side, and they read the article and then go back to their dictionary and read the article, go back to the dictionary, and they don't really focus on doing one or the other. So let's talk a little bit about reading strategies. So for reading strategies, before you start reading, we call this pre-reading, it's good to think about the topic in English before you start reading. Start thinking of words associated with the topic and get your brain moving. Start to take some of that English vocabulary you have in your brain and take it to the front of your brain, so it's right there. Read from the beginning to the end without stopping for the dictionary. We'll say the first time you read. That's important. If you are using a dictionary the entire time you are reading, it's going to, one, slows you down, or it slows you down, and does not always help with your overall understanding of the main ideas. As you read, you should underline or write down words you don't know and then look them up later and then reread the article. So the first time you read the article or the first time you read something, read it from beginning to end without stopping. Then go back, use a dictionary, and start to study some of the vocabulary or parts of the words or the parts of the articles that you don't necessarily understand. That's important. It helps your overall comprehension, and it also helps you to remember new vocabulary much better. A lot of times, if you just stop to look up a word in a dictionary while you read, your brain doesn't always keep that information in your head. It kind of just goes in one ear and then out the other. And one thing that's really important to remember, if you do not understand everything, that is okay. We are going to be reading authentic texts. We're going to be reading, articles that are meant for native speakers. So some of them might be quite challenging. And if you don't understand everything, that's okay. It's a little bit like putting together a puzzle. That's why I have this picture of a puzzle here. Reading in another language is a bit like putting together a puzzle. It requires critical thinking and patience. So remember to use those skills. And there's things you can do on a computer that you can't normally do in a book. So while I'm reading in, another language and I'm using a computer, there's tools you can use. For example, maybe this word restored is a word that I don't know. If you right-click on the word, you can pull up a Google search for the word restored. And a lot of times, if you just Google an individual word, Google will automatically give you a dictionary definition, which is a really easy, convenient way of looking up a word. However, this does prevent you from keeping reading. So this is something you would want to do again after you have already read through the article completely one time. But just looking up the word on a screen is only going to be a little bit of help. Usually, when you look up words this way, it's not committed to your long-term memory, which means that it's committed to your short-term memory, which means you forget it. So the best way to remember these words, now that you've put the work in of reading the article and looking it up, is to write them down. Remember, at the beginning of the class, I recommended everybody have a vocabulary notebook, and I still think you should have a vocabulary notebook with you, even next to you with a computer. I recommend actually writing it down with a pen and paper. Again, it just helps you to commit it to your long-term memory. And that's what we want. We want to remember these words that we're looking at. So these were just some helpful tips on reading in a second language. Good luck with the reading this week. If you guys have any issues or have any questions, please let me know. See you guys later.